The Great Sultan of India has three sons: Houssain the oldest, Ali the middle, and Ahmed the youngest. The Great Sultan also cares for his niece, the Princess Nouronnihar, whose father had died. The Sultan, her uncle, proposed to get her married. When she arrived at a proper age, to some neighbouring prince, and was thinking seriously about it, when he perceived that the three princes, his sons, had all fallen in love with her. Knowing the youngest two would not cede to her, to Houssain, simply because of his seniority, the ruler suggests she choose her own husband. To refuse to comply. Thus, the Great Sultan stages a competition. Each prince will travel to a far-away land to collect the greatest rarity he can find. Whoever brings back the most valuable item will be granted the prince's hand. Eager, the princess set off immediately. They all went out at the same gate of the city, each dressed like a merchant, attended by a trusty officer dressed like a slave, all well mounted and equipped. They went the first day's journey together and slept at the first inn, where the road divided into three different tracks. Prince Houssain travels to the kingdom of Besnagar, where he finds a merchant selling a plain-looking carpet for a huge sum of money. He inquires after it, to learn that the carpet will transport its owner wherever he pleases. Though he knows this gift would likely win the contest, he is skeptical, so the carpet merchant promises to test it with him. Houssain agrees, and he and merchant sit on the carpet and are transported to Houssain's lodging in town and accepted the conditions, and concluded the bargain and having obtained the master's leave. After buying the carpet, Houssain remains in the kingdom for a long time, knowing the carpet will transport him back home whenever he is ready. The rest of his time, the prince spent in seeing what was most remarkable in and about the city, and among other things, he visited a temple, all built of brass. Besides this, a temple was erected in the middle of a terrace, with a dome about 50 cubits high which might be seen for several leagues around. Prince Ali, the second brother, traveled into Persia with a caravan, and after 4 months traveling arrived at Shiraz, which was then the capital of the kingdom of Persia. The next morning, while the merchants were opening their bales of merchandise, Prince Ali took a walk into that quarter of the town where they sold precious stones, gold, and silver work and other choice and valuable merchandise, which was Shiraz called the Bazestin. Meanwhile, Prince Ali finds a merchant selling a strange ivory tube for a huge sum. He inquires after it, to learn that one can see anything in the world by peering into the tube. To test it, Ali wishes to see his father and the Nouronnihar, and then looks into it. It works. He then buys the wonderful tube and heads back to home to meet his brothers. Finally, Prince Ahmed travels far away to the kingdom of Samarkand, where he finds a merchant selling a small and remarkable artificial apple. The merchant insists that the apple can cure absolutely any disease with one smell, and that it had saved practically everyone in the city at one time. When Prince Ahmed asked for proof, many passers-by attest to its power. However, Prince Ahmed does not believe it until he sees the apple cure a sick wife with his own eyes. He then buys the rare apple and returns to meet his brothers, sure of his coming success.
After traveling for so many months, the three princes are now back together again. They embraced and complimented each other and travel back home, where they are about to show the Sultan what they have just brought that they think is so special and valuable, and will see whom he favored to marry Princess Nouronnihar. As they got home, Prince Houssain went in first to show what he's got, the rare carpet from the kingdom of Besnagar, that can bring you to places you wished the moment you sit on it, followed by Prince Ali, who brought the ivory tube from Persia that lets you locate and see someone you are looking for. And lastly, Prince Ahmed, who has brought an unremarkable artificial apple from the kingdom of Samarkand that can cure any type of diseases in one smell. But before Prince Ahmed could present what he has brought, they saw through the ivory tube Princess Nouronnihar on her deathbed, weak and miserable. The princes were hopeless and thought all their efforts will come to naught. They sit in the carpet and got into her chambers. And with Prince Ahmed's apple, she's cured. She thanked them all and told the Sultan about what happened. The Sultan was overjoyed for the prince's recovery, then thanked his sons. He said that all three of them has a fair and equal contribution and no one is above no one. He set another task for them to see who is really the one to marry the princess. The Sultan challenged the princess to get a bow and arrow, and whoever shoots the farthest will have Princess Nouronnihar. Prince Houssain, as the eldest, shot first, followed by Prince Ali, that surpassed his shot much beyond, and Prince Ahmed, whose arrow could not be found. No one can know if it's near or far. Some says that he shot the farthest, but there is no evidence for that according to the Sultan. Since Prince Ali has evidently shot the farthest among the three, the Sultan declared and gave her hand to him, and he is to marry her cousin, Princess Nouronnihar.